can't pick your own name. So, I don't know. Somebody else gave me the name, and then everybody else started calling me that. And not all the time, but I guess word got out. I remember when I lived in Cape Cod, there was a guy. He introduced himself, and he said he was a lobsterman, or he worked seasonally as a lobsterman in the summer. And the first year he was down there, when you work on the boat, you make a percentage of the boat, and it was just a blockbuster bonanza of a bumper crop. They caught the lobsters, and he just raked in the dough. And well, let me tell you, there was a bar there, the Southwester. So the nor'easter brings the bad weather. So there was a bar there called the Southwester that brought that's the lobstermen, the guys out on the boats. That's what they like. That's the preferred win, the gentle win. A lot of money was spent, because when these lobstermen would come back, they'd be on a couple days, or if they went out, and I guess there were other types of boats, they'd be out at sea, and then they'd come back, and before they're going out, they'd tie on a good one. I guess they'd meet at the dock at a certain hour. Anyhow, he said to me when I first met him, and we might have been the same age at the time, he said, "My name's Pete, but you can call me Chief." I was like, "Whoa, that's presumptuous." It's like a name of it's a name with a large amount of distinction and kind of authority. You think of a chief, but I called him Chief. Everybody, I think the first couple times I called him Pete, then I just kind of relinquished and called him Chief. And I remember we were sitting in the Squire, and he was kind of telling me all these different stories, and he had all these different experiences. I mean, he was talking about, he kept saying 24/7. I'm like, what do you mean 24/7? At the time I didn't know what 24/7 meant. He's like, he's talking about, anyhow. What's my point is, he didn't give himself that name, Chief. Anybody else he saw that he liked, some people. There was one guy I worked with. He used to always say, "Hey, boss man. Hey, boss man." And he said that to a lot of people. Or, "Hey, guy." Whenever he saw anybody, he'd say, "Hey, Chief." And he said that to everybody, to the point that whenever anybody saw them, and they'd say, "Hey, Chief." So he became known as Chief. So even though he was telling me his name was Chief, others had given him that name, well, because of, it was kind of a term of endearment, and, his close circle of friends called him that. So anyhow, so you can't give yourself a name, and I think that starts when you're born. You don't give yourself, your parents give you the name, and then you kind of inhabit that name. There's a name, destiny. You've heard certain people, if they're given the name Roger, probably be an aviation or an airplane pilot or something, and be very reliable. If you name a kid, Rowdy, he'll probably not be a banker, is my guess. But to all you rowdy bankers out there, my apologies. So I wasn't given the name. I was given the name. I didn't give it to myself, and I think I could have never come up with a name that name. I remember I was just learning the guitar and sang some songs, and I think I even had written some kind of original songs, and I needed a stage name, and I was thinking Bobby, and the gal I was, I was in a relationship at the time, and we were just getting to know each other, and I said, I need a stage name, Bobby. She said Angel. I said, okay, Bobby Angel. And I rewind the clock on that. I remember the first time I met her. We just met on the beach, and it was a cold day. It was like a walking on the beach in the evening, and I remember wearing a hat, and we just struck up a conversation, and we exchanged numbers. I said, oh, we should go out and do lunch or something, and she called me that night, and she said, she was like laughing giddily. She was just so happy, and she could hardly contain herself, and I said, I was like, trying to follow what she was saying. She said she found she didn't know the name for it, but it was a ladybug. She had found a ladybug, and that meant really good luck, and she just wanted to call to tell me that. And I hung up the phone, and I thought, oh my God, what does that mean? So anyhow, a couple weeks later, she gave me the name Bobby Angel, and I mentioned it at work that, I'm going to sing a song to a colleague. It was a farewell song, and my stage name's Bobby Angel, and I think I was new there, and it just quickly spread, and it caught on without me really trying, and to this day, people still call me the old guard that knew me back then. They'll call me Bobby, or Bobby A, or Bobby Angel, and we'll talk about, Bobby. I'll kind of invoke Bobby Angel. So you don't pick your name, but I think you inhabit it. You run with it, and I don't know how other people got their names, but that's how Bobby Angel got his name, and you just kind of take it at face value, I think. But I don't know. Maybe now recently I'm thinking, who the hell is Bobby Angel? I don't think I know, and I think that this album, is kind of explores, who is Bobby Angel? And that's a good question.